Before you can understand the instability of post-war Europe, the rise of Nazism, and ultimately the Second World War, you need to understand the settlement at the end of World War I. It wasn't just a peace deal. It reshaped Germany, destabilised Europe, and left problems that lasted for decades. So here are 4 facts you need to know about the Treaty of Versailles. War guilt shaped how Germans experienced the treaty. Germany was forced to accept Article 231, the War Guilt Clause, which held Germany responsible for the war. Reparations were economically damaging, but the war guilt was politically and psychologically more significant. Many Germans believed the war had ended in negotiation rather than outright defeat, and they saw the clause as a moral insult. This helped fuel the belief that Germany had been betrayed, an idea that extremist movements would later exploit. The treaty was designed to fundamentally weaken Germany. The treaty stripped Germany of territory, limited its army to 100,000 men, banned tanks, submarines and aircraft, and it removed Germany's overseas colonies. These terms were designed to limit Germany's ability to wage war, but fell short of destroying it as a state. That mattered because it left Germany humiliated, insecure, and deeply resentful of the post-war settlement. The treaty was a compromise that satisfied no one. The treaty was shaped by the Big Four: the USA, Britain, France and Italy, all of whom had very different aims. The resulting compromise meant Italy's territorial demands were largely ignored, weakening faith in liberal politicians. Many in Britain welcomed Germany's punishment, but leading politicians probably feared it was too harsh. In the United States, the Senate rejected the treaty, especially the League of Nations, meaning it was never ratified. In France, critics on the right argued the treaty was too lenient, with Marshal Foch famously warning that it was not a peace, but an armistice for 20 years. This mattered because the settlement lacked international unity and long-term commitment. The treaty undermined democracy in Germany from the start. The Weimar government was blamed for signing the treaty, even though it had little real choice. Had they refused, Germany would have been invaded. As a result, from the very beginning of the Weimar Republic, democracy became associated with humiliation and defeat. Extremist parties could present themselves as patriotic alternatives to a betraying system. However, the treaty alone did not cause the collapse of democracy. Its impact became dangerous when combined with economic crisis and political instability in the 1920s and early 1930s. If you understand these 4 facts, it becomes clear why the Treaty of Versailles failed to secure peace, and why Europe slid back towards conflict in the 1930s.